Hey guys, welcome to Approach the Nerd. It is your girl Maria Park, and we are here to talk about Stargirl, the final season up to this point. We have, I believe, it's one more episode left, which is insane because instead of it being a season finale, it is the series finale because they decided to cancel Stargirl, which is honestly a shame because Stargirl was one of the shows I thought they did well, especially somebody who is an Infinity Inc. fan. So I thought they did a pretty good job. Did they reinvent stuff, a few things and kind of like take characters that were normally considered metahumans and make them human and vice versa? Of course they did, because it's the Arrowverse. It's what they do. But yeah, I'm in my feelings a little bit because I really liked where Stargirl was going. And now, this is it. Whatever happens, I believe, on November 30th is what we got. So that's interesting. But yeah, we have a lot to talk about in terms of season 3 because I've been away for a while. And then on top of that, there's some news that came out. I guess I should start off on something that kind of shocked me. Like, I woke up to the news report that as a Power Ranger and Super Sentai fan, I'm like completely shocked that not only is Jason David Frank deceased, they're saying he killed himself. So Tommy, from the OG Green Ranger, then he became the White Ranger, then he became the Red Turbo Ranger, or the Zeo. Well, he became Zeo, then the Red Turbo Ranger. Then he became the Black Ranger and Dino Fury. Not Dino Fury, Dino Thunder. Like, one of the longest, like, I guess we can say one of the longest freaking Power Rangers, legacy wise, is dead. I And that's crazy because they're just getting ready to do their Power Rangers 30th anniversary, like, reunion special or whatever they're doing, and I'm like, "Holy shit, Tommy's dead." Like, Jason David Frank is dead, and I mean, we don't have all the details, and like I said, the report I saw, I know people have mentioned it too, on TMZ, is that they're saying he killed himself. So, man, 2022 is just being effing stupid. So, yeah, I just wanted to say something about that because, yeah, that is a mess. All right. So we're gonna talk about Stargirl. So what I think I've only got up to episode 4 in my reviews, so I'm just gonna kind of like do an overview. I'm gonna start with the whole Todd Rice, Jenny Lynn, Helix portion of season 3 first. So basically, and for reasons unknown, we decided to go the cloak and dagger route with the twins. So instead of Jade getting her ring from Kyle Rayner, or instead of Jade basically being poison ivy with green skin and plant control, she just, when she left the last, I think it was second season, they introduced her. When she left the foster care home she was staying in, they gave her dad Alan Scott's ring, and it just kind of took to her and it chose her. Which again, it's nothing that happened. It's not nothing happened in the comics, but it is what it is. We move past that. Um, but what's interesting is I really feel like they made the twins the new Cloak and Dagger of the Arrowverse because, like, basically the twins react to each other, whereas Jenny is light, Todd is pretty much darkness or shadow. And I will say bringing the shade in is kind of like the in between character to kind of bring teach them how to save Todd, I guess, Obsidian, because he's not able to control his shadow power. I'm not hating on that because it gave us a real legit reason to bring the shade back in general. Also, having him be affected by Jenny's ring to the point where she kind of messed up their flow, where they basically can't use their respective powers because they've kind of done some crazy manipulation where their powers are kind of morphed into each other. So, like, the light is hurting him, and then her ring is not working right because there's shadow involved, and it's just crazy. So, yeah, so we have the twins as Cloak and Dagger, and then we have everything going on between Jenny and the Shade. And of course, Jenny still doesn't like him because Alan Scott was killed by the ISA, specifically him, apparently. So it's like there's a lot going on. So, what I will say, I am so excited to see, as an Infinity Inc. fan, that they decided to bring the Helix in the, Institute in it. Of course, we got Mr. Bones, we got, Nurse Love. I don't really care about Nurse Love too much, but Mr. Bones started he started Helix. And Helix basically is, and they're pretty much the villain version of Infinity Inc., which I think is very hilarious because if you really think about this, Courtney, this entire season has been in this let's work together, villains and heroes holding hands, sharing a Coke. Um, she goes to the Helix Institute with Jenny to save Todd. And she has this one-on-one conversation with Mr. Bones where she convinces him that no, people that have abilities, even if they're dangerous like yours, you don't have to, hide in the shadows. That's not living. So essentially, the pep talk she gave Mr. Bones is basically making him start Helix, which has Penny Dreadful in it. Like you actually saw some of the members of Helix or future Helix already there at the Helix Institute. Because I mean, I know I want to say I saw Penny Dreadful. Who else did I see? I was trying to think about who was on the door. Baby Boom, I think, was on the door. I don't know if Tao was there or Critton. I don't know. But I do know that I'm pretty sure I saw Baby Boom and I know I saw Penny Dreadful on the doors. So I just thought that was interesting that, they were setting up Helix for the future because, of course, we were going the Infinity Inc. route. This was going to become Infinity Inc. instead of JSA 2. And I'm so irritated that it got canceled because I really felt like the flow was going really well with this show. And so, of course, one more episode and we've got nothing. So thanks a lot, guys. But anyway, long story short, though, they are able to save Obsidian, but not before the Shade and Pat are sent, basically into the world of the Shade's world, basically, where it's like everything is negative, and it's the same in between world that Courtney ended up going to last season, where she found Cindy and they broke out. And it was pretty cool. We got to see Shade dealing with him not being there when his sister died. We got to see Pat's father, who is a piece. He's a POS. He just is. And as somebody whose dad is exactly like Pat's or was, I can relate because that stuff that he would say, yeah, my dad has said stuff like that to me. So like, I feel like that was real. I loved how real that is. Now, what's interesting to me is, and we're not going to have anything come of this, I'm pretty damn sure, because we have one episode left. It got Pat thinking that he was a bad father to Mike, because there's a point where Barbara comes up to, is in this, he's seeing Barbara, the negative version of Barbara, and he's seeing Mike, and Barbara's basically saying he's not a good dad to Mike, and Mike's like, eventually I'm going to hate you. And I've always said since season 1 that I thought it was kind of BS that Pat showed more interest in Courtney's life than in Mike's life. I mean, to be fair, Mike did kill Icicle, or so we thought, and we'll get to that. And so the trauma from that should have been something that he worked with Mike on. But it kind of got brushed aside because of JSA stuff. And of course, with Sylvester coming back. So it's like he really has not been there for his son. His son spends more time with Jakeem in this season than he does with any of them at home. So I've always felt that Mike kind of got like the second shaft, or like kind of he's a second stringer, but technically Pat is his bio dad. And considering all the crap we know now that Mike has gone through, like his mother being an addict and her just kind of dropping him off, I felt bad. So Pat having that revelation is interesting because we're on season 3. You should have had this revelation in season 1. Literally when he is acting like you weren't giving a damn about him. So I always thought that was interesting. But on top of that, so Pat's way of fixing this is by trying to find Mike's mom. We're probably, again, never going to get anything out of this because the series is canceled. So wherever they were going to go with the storyline, we'll probably never see. But it would have been interesting. I would have loved to have seen how that played out, because one thing I did love about this is that Barbara, she even says it in this season, when she first got married to him and they combined their blended family, she wasn't sure how she was going to deal with having, a son. And then is like, they were like, well, how do you feel now? And she's like, Mike's my son. So she considers herself to be Mike's mother. And I love that Barbara is so close to Mike when his own father is like up in the damn air doing whatever. So, that I wish we got more of that, and it's a shame because we're not with this being the last season, we're not gonna get any progression with this at all. I mean, it's just it's a wasted and missed opportunity, especially since I love this show, but I mean, the show started off pretty slow this season. We had a murder, and then it's kind of like kinda ticking along. I don't know if we're gonna get any, Hour Man resolution because he did do this in the comics. He started tampering with his hourglass, and then, it actually started affecting his health and giving him radiation poisoning. And I remember, because he was actually dating Beth in the comics, she came up with, like, an antidote to cure him of his sickness in the comics. I don't know if we're gonna get any of that. We do know that Beth and her parents have been trying to talk to Rick, but Rick is, like, in his feelings and getting angry because the hourglass is boosting up he already has a temper, and it's boosting it up more. So, that is a thing. Um, and I wanna talk about Rick a little bit more. I also there are a lot of things that happened this season, so I wanna make sure I don't miss anything. I've done, like, a general outline, but I'm gonna miss stuff, guys. It's just too much. I will say, after the storyline wrapped with Todd and Jenny, who basically ended up going with Shade so Todd could train. So he's even though he's like that hands-off villain who's like, I don't really want to be a villain, but I'm definitely not a hero. I want you to leave me the hell alone. He ends up becoming the mentor for Todd. So it's like his way of starting over because he does feel guilty that he was not there when his sister died. And he also wasn't there when Brainiac Jr. died. Brainwave Jr. died. Brainiac, Lord. Brainwave Jr. died. So all of that is very, very I know it's a moment of regret that he has, even though he doesn't like talking about his feelings, because it's the Shade. Of course he doesn't. But this is also the Arrowverse, the verse where all villains have a rehabilitation, they have the option of rehabilitation. And speaking of the Crocs were one of my favorite things this season. And I am so mad that they were killed off. I'm in my feelings. But let's talk about this. So we knew they were trying to do better for their daughter. They got out of prison. They wanted to give her a good life. They had to train themselves to not respond with violence to situations that were stressful for them. Because remember, when we were first introduced to them, Sportsmaster and Tigress literally killed her previous gym coach because he was being, he benched her, I believe it was. And so they killed him. That's the extreme level that they would go to. But hell, by almost the end of this season, they were negotiating with Icicle's our parents, basically stay away from the Dugans. We all want peace. They were becoming people that Courtney believed they could be. And it makes me so sad, especially Barbara and Paula. I loved their friendship. I love how Paula kept trying to teach Barbara how to defend herself. And she's like, well, I don't think I can do that. And she's like, you're like, Paula's like, I have one friend basically, and I don't want something to happen to you. And I'm like, I effing love their relationship. I loved it. I mean, yeah, Sportsmaster was having some problems, with Pat and Sylvester, but Pat was kind of open to it a little bit. Sylvester, question mark, we're gonna get to him because he's a whole other conversation. But the Crocs grew on me, and I went from thinking they were just complete trash like villains should be in season 1 to like, wow, I actually really like the Crocs. They're very cool because they fought their nature for their child. And like Paula, like when there's a scene where because Courtney's basically hanging out with Cameron this season, of course, trying to teach him how to use his powers and trying to, she's trying to basically be the mediator between everything, and plus she likes him. So she was teaching, Cameron how to use his powers, and the grandmother was getting like in her feelings, especially since, they decided to try and attack them at one point. But the grandmother visited Barbara's house, and she was kind of like intimidating Barbara. Now, to be fair, the grandmother is nuts. I don't care what anybody says. That woman is cray cray. I don't care that she lost her son. Because remember the sweet art teacher from last season with the Calypso that kind of got possessed and all that, ended up in the hospital? He was a very, very cool, nerdy guy. He was also teaching another subject besides art. I forgot what it was. But anyway, he ends up going to the house because Cameron decided to quit art. and he's quitting art because every time he touches a canvas or anything, he starts freezing it. He has no control over his powers. So he goes to talk to his grandparents. The grandfather is actually the one who's kind of like, okay, I can see both sides. He's actually the more reasonable one, but the grandmother has a temper, and she effing killed him. Like, she literally killed him and threw his whole ass in the, like, I don't know if she threw him in the trash, but they threw all of his stuff in the trash. And to date, nobody has said shit about this teacher being missing. I'm like, that is so messed up. So, like, I don't really care for the grandmother because it feel like when she doesn't get her way, she turns to violence and murder. So, but the scene where I'm talking about is she shows up at Barbara's house to intimidate her, and Paula is there, and she shoots a crossbow at her. And, because Tigress is letting her know, hey, this is my friend. Get the fuck out of this house. And that's basically it. And I'm like, man, I really loved their friendship. And they effing killed them. And they killed them in the shittiest way possible for me, guys. They brought Icicle back. So 2 episodes ago, throughout the whole season, someone's been spying on them. They couldn't figure out who it is. They thought it was Helix Institute. They thought it was Icicle's grandparents. But no, it was Icicle himself, because he is not effing dead. Apparently, his powers have morphed to the part where he is the ice. So when the Crocs follow, they start seeing, like, he lures them down there. He tried to convince Cameron, or he convinced Cameron at this point, that it was an accident. And I don't know why Cameron was so prone to, like, believe this and be okay with this, knowing your dad just effing killed 2 people. But we'll talk about Cameron too in a minute. But they follow this trail down to his lair where he ends up freezing them. And it is the saddest scene. They, like, are trying to hold hands and say, I love you. I'm like, what is wrong? Why? Why? And another heartbreaking scene for me is when Artemis shows up and she's like, can you have you seen my parents? Because they haven't come home. And, of course, her father's gym isn't open. She has no idea where her parents are. She just got accepted to the University of Nebraska as its first female quarterback. So they were very excited. As a matter of fact, her parents just got that news moments before they went down and then died. And that is so sad, because it felt like their lives were coming together. Being good was working out for them. They were following the Dugans, and they're like, yeah, the Dugan Whitmores are right. We need to not choose violence and work together and be heroes. And the moment they change their lives around, they effing get killed. And I'm like, this is bullshit. And but yeah, Artemis finding their bodies with Courtney and Beth and Yolanda, that was heartbreaking. Her being in the house, like, losing her shit, and Barbara coming in saying you can't be her alone. Basically, her mother's best friend, because let's face it, Barbara was Paula's best friend, is probably going to end up, raising Artemis. And it's just sad. It's really sad. And we probably won't know the outcome of any of this because, again, the show is canceled. So we're probably going to have a shit ton of, like, loose ends now, which is irritating. So, but yeah, that whole thing really irritated the hell out of me. I was in my feelings when the Croc died. I was like, really? You freaking kidding me right now? The show gets canceled and you killed the Crocs? MF. So there's that. We have Jakeem and Mike this whole season trying to get Cindy to join them in their own, team. And I don't know. I feel like this is a way for Jakeem to have a crush on Cindy, for Shiv, because I'm kind of pissed that Yolanda and the rest of the team haven't tried to find Cindy and apologize for suspecting her for killing, the gambler, when she obviously that wasn't what she was doing. She was actually trying to save her own damn life. And, like, I feel like they get the benefit of the doubt to all these other ISA members, but Cindy's kind of like, you're trash. And I know why Yolanda does it. She's still in her feelings about her boyfriend being killed, even though they weren't together anymore. She's in her feelings about that. But, like, come on. So, like, poor Cindy's out there living in the damn woods, trying to pretty much find the ultra humanite, because she feels like that's her dad, or in there, I think in this version, it's her father's, one of her father's experiments, which we all know that the ultra humanite is not. He's actually more of a Superman villain in the comics. And he is also, if I remember correctly, he got his body from Gorilla City. So he does have a connection to Grodd in that way. So good homage to Grodd, I guess. But like I said, they do that a lot in this series. They do a lot of homages to different shows. Like, again, I'm standing by the fact that I said earlier in this stream that Todd and Jenny actually reminded me more of Cloak and Dagger than they did of Obsidian and the future Green Lantern. So just putting it out there. But yeah, so we're dealing with this whole plot line of the Ultra Human Knight, and for some reason we know it hates the ISA because they wouldn't let him join, but for some reason it also is mad at Starman, and I'm like, Starman is not that cool. That the Ultra Human Knight, and especially in the comics, which is like, I must go after Sylvester. No, that was never a thing. That was absolutely I remember issues of him fighting Superman. So yeah, it is what it is, but that is the last villain I believe we're going to have before the show ends, because again, I'm pretty sure the series finale is on November 30th. We have one episode left. It is depressing. But he is a good plot point because Icicle is using this because he's come back, he's come back to his life. He's gone back to work. People in the community love him, and he's come up with some lame excuse about how he was missing and had an accident. I guess had amnesia and all this crap. And he's trying to get everything back on track. I'm pretty certain he has not given up on his plan. He's just going about it a different way, and he even kind of hints into when he's talking to Cameron. He's like, me and Courtney have the same ideas. We just believe in different paths to get there. He has not dropped what he wants to do. But he needs to get rid of the Ultra, he needs to get an Ultra Human Knight first. And to do that, he needs the combined strength of the JSA/Infinity Inc. and him and maybe whoever's left in the ISA. So it's crazy. Is it 2 more episodes? I thought we had 1. I'll have to go back and look. Even still, 2 episodes is not enough to wrap up every little plot point that they're starting, which is so sad. Like I said, I doubt we're ever going to get to Mike and his mom storyline at all before the series ends. If we do, it's going to be a cliffhanger that we will never get resolved because it's canceled. I know a lot of people are like, well, why isn't HBO Max buying it? Because it would be really well on HBO Max. And I'm like, because they don't want to. And they're canceling so much crap on HBO Max. They have no intentions of doing anything. So it's a thing. I really wanted somebody to get this, but I worry because case in point, an example, I like Manifest, the TV show, and I am happy that Netflix, picked it up. But I mean, it's a shortened season split into 2, and they're going to have to resolve all the previous 4 seasons into this limited time, which I guess is better than nothing. And I kind of feel like that's exactly what would happen if something like Netflix got Stargirl. They give it a really short series run and be like, oh, your last 4 episodes or 5 episodes. And you're still going to be like, but there's so much more they were doing, and you're always going to be left question mark wondering where this could have gone instead of them just continuing it. And it's weird because Stargirl, I'm pretty certain, was supposed to do a crossover, if I'm not mistaken, either with the Titans or with Doom Patrol, or maybe both. I don't know. And I don't know if we're getting that, or if we are going to get it, it's just kind of like, oh, okay, cool. We're never going to see Stargirl again. So what the hell is the point, But yet they greenlight freaking Gotham Knights. I don't understand that. I would much rather have another season of Stargirl than Gotham Knights. I mean, I'm sorry if you guys are excited about this. But I just can't. I can't wrap my mind around it. I don't care about the trailer. It just looks like a campy version, maybe a slightly darker version of Birds of Prey, which I was not opposed to. But that's a 90s show, and we're in 2022, so I don't have time for that. So, and then if they do the Diggle spinoff show, which that escapes me too. I'm calling it Meta U. There's a bunch of metas going to university undercover, but I don't know what the hell the actual name is going to be. And I don't care. I'm kind of I'm kind of done. So I know we have 1 more season of The Flash. Superman and Lois. This could be the last season because they're bringing back Henry Cavill and coming back with DCU, Superman. And so who the hell knows what's going to happen? It's all over the place. So yeah, but I think Stargirl was a big tragedy in terms of canceling an Arrowverse, or whatever verse we're naming it now, series. That's just my opinion about that. So it is what it is. Some other things that I noticed in this season. So Beth, let's go to Beth again. So Beth was having a hard time dealing with her parents, always trying to be involved in her JSA business, right? This is what I don't understand. This is the hypocrisy of how I get annoyed at the writing, okay? And this is how I know they're going a tiny bit down the Arrowverse writing trail that I don't like. So Sylvester's like, "Oh, yeah, I don't tell my family anything because, and people get killed and blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, "You're saying that Beth should not involve her parents who already know about her and the JSA, but yet you live in the house full of freaking Dugan Whitmores who where only technically 2 of them are part of the JSA and are always involved and always in it." And I'm like, "That's hypocrisy." You know, why I don't understand that. Quite frankly, I love the fact that her parents were involved because if you read Infinity Inc., her mother did make her costume. Now, to be fair, her mother was a housewife. She was not a doctor. Beth was the doctor, and her father was a preacher. He was not. I want to say her dad's a lawyer, but I have no idea. He works at the same place Barbara does, I think. But I want to say he's a lawyer. That was not his role. He was a preacher. She had, if I remember correctly, 2 or 3 older brothers. She's the only child in this version. So she's DH, an only child, and her parents are much more successful. I don't want to say successful because there's nothing wrong with being a housewife, but career wise, they're a lot more accomplished in their careers than they were in the comics. And her mother still made her Infinity Ink suit. And we did see the Infinity Ink suit from the comics referenced by her parents, which I thought was a good tie in. But let's be clear, whenever I look at Infinity, and I think about Infinity Inc., especially when they're adults, I think the mother is actually Beth. That is her role. She was this brilliant surgeon. She went blind trying to save people in a medical ward. And, it's just, she was the original Dr. Midnight's actual apprentice at the hospital before becoming the predecessor. So it's, a successor. So like, I think they're doing a good job reinventing it where again, it's its own thing. But, like, I like that her parents took an active interest because if you remember me reviewing season 1, I was like, "Wow, these helicopter parents don't give a damn about their child." They didn't. It seemed like almost every parent in there besides Barbara was shit. I'm like, they're just shit parents. So, I don't know. I'm in my feelings. I will say again, because, she told her parents not to get involved, and now, Rick gets hurt, and then, of course, she has to get her parents involved, so it's like, it didn't stick, obviously, but it is what it is. Um, I do love that we get to see Beth's suit having like her having more of an active role in her suit, not just as a walking computer. She literally has attack mode. She can literally do any fighting style. She has weapons that she didn't know about. The fact that her parents told her that how to unlock it, had she not been talking to her parents, she would have never effing known that. And that was when they were going to Icicle's grandparents, why am I saying grandparents? His parents' home to basically they're thinking something was going on with Courtney, and they're basically thinking, they're the ones that were spying on them. So they were going to I think they were going to take him out. Of course, this was Starman's plan. So I'm like, but yeah, so all of that means that her parents being a part of it is not bad. Because if you're going by the whole logic of, oh, well, your parents are going to be in danger, well, then guess what? Then you shouldn't be a damn superhero because you being a superhero is going to put them in danger any damn way. And then I love how she's having to put the brakes on the parents, right? So think about this. Think about the irony of this. Beth is telling her parents, I'm the superhero, not you. Sit down, which basically the parents could be like, baby, you live in my house. You were underage and you sit down. If we can't be involved in this, then you can't do it. That's how that should have played out, but it did not. And then the other irony is Yolanda's going through the opposite. So Yolanda's mother, because we know Yolanda's parents are absolute garbage. Grandmother's trash. I don't know where her little brother is. He's so sweet. We haven't seen him since season 1. He's gone. But he's like Judy from Family Ties. He went upstairs and never came back. But the mother basically she's showing her butt again, and basically told Yolanda to show her phone. And she refused because she doesn't want her mother to know that she's Wildcat. She doesn't want her mother to be in danger, even though she's not a fan of her mother. And so she ends up being given an ultimatum. You can either give me your phone and get out of my house. So Yolanda gets out of her house and ends up going to, of course, Courtney's house. And I kept thinking, it's a big looking house, but they don't have all these bedrooms for these people. Like, where's Artemis gonna sleep now? Because you already got Sylvester in the damn basement. You got Yolanda in Courtney's room. Courtney's sleeping on the couch. Mike, I guess, is gonna be kicked out of his bedroom too. Maybe he's gonna sleep on the lawn chair. I don't know. And then of course you got Barbara and Pat's room. They can't keep taking in all of these people. They don't have the room or space for it. So, I have question mark there. But that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, Yolanda, that whole thing with Yolanda and her mother, that was effed up, and I already knew it was gonna happen. But there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot with Yolanda's character that's always confusing to me. She's supposed to be a Christian or Catholic, and repent and show forgiveness, but she doesn't do it. Like, she gives into her wildcat side, so she doesn't trust people easily, she is prone to violence. And she does have a temper. So it's interesting, Yolanda's character. So that it's kind of like Beth's situation and Yolanda's are like yin and yang of each other, which I think is interesting. So okay, and then we're talking about Rick again. Rick is, like I said, in his feelings. He doesn't want to be caught off guard, so he did tamper with his hourglass, and he is paying the price. I don't think we're gonna follow the comics. He's not gonna have radiation poisoning. He's just gonna explode. He's gonna effing explode. That's what's gonna happen. He's losing his shit, and he it gets to the point where because he already doesn't like Cameron. They get into it. He literally almost beat Cameron to death. Courtney tried to get in the way. He pushed her, hurt her. And so he ends up saying, I'm sorry. But then when you see Beth's parents examining him stuff, he was losing his cool again. And we have not seen him since they were, basically trying to take out Icicle's parents, and he was trying to kill Cam. So I don't know where he is. Nobody knows where he is. We know he's going to come back, but that's a thing. That is a thing. So Rick is in his feelings a lot. And I'm really curious to see how they resolve this. And of course, I really like Seth Green as Thunderbolt. I don't know the drama or if there is drama behind why the original voice actor was recast, but I am loving his voice for him. I think he's doing a very good job. I do love how because I feel frustrated like Mike. Mike's like, I wish that someone like Icicle has has no powers and therefore can't come after me for trying to kill him. And he's like, I can't do that. I can't kill someone. He's like, okay, so we can all die and be killed off, but you can't take his powers away because it'll kill him. He's like, yeah, just can't do it. So, but I mean, what I don't get is why did you not wish that Icicle's powers didn't work on you guys? Just phrase it where I wish Icicle's powers had no effect on anybody else except him or something of that nature. Like they don't make the right wishes. It's so frustrating for me. I would be so creative with that shit because self-preservation makes you very inspired. So I'm kind of in my feelings about how Thunderbolt is being used. And I feel like it's incorrectly. That's just me. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there, but I feel like it's incorrect how that's happening. I also, and this is just me looking for things to nitpick about, Jakeem's parents are just as strict as Yolanda's, if you remember, and he has a sister that always got him in trouble. He basically left with Mike, and his parents didn't know where Jakeem or Mike were, and for some reason there were no repercussions on the last episode. So I wonder if did he make a wish like his parents wouldn't ground him, or I don't know. I wish we got a little bit more on the Jakeem side because his parents were pretty strict when we first got introduced last season, and it just seems like it kind of faded away. That's the one problem that I've always had with shows like this. It's like you establish these like situations where it's very hard for a character to be themselves or do what they want because they're underage and their parents rule them, but then they're still able to do all of these things that they don't make sense. I'm like, if your parents are this restrictive, then how are you getting away all the time? You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. Like Yolanda, to this day, I do not understand how Yolanda was able to get out of her house from season 1 all the way up to now. Well, now it's easy because she lives with the Dugans, but like, how was she able to get out of that house without her mother saying so? I know that she was pretending to have work shifts this season when on nights she wasn't working, but that does not explain season 2 when she was not working there originally. Before she started working there, how was she getting out of the house all the time? Because they were always checking her. So I'm so confused on how she was on call as Wildcat, but living in her parents' very restrictive house. How the hell was she getting away with that? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. So that is a thing, I guess. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot going on. Sylvester probably guys. I just want to smack the shit out of Starman. Like, every time this man opens his mouth, I just want to smack the shit out of him. I know he's been through a lot of trauma. I just don't like the way he talks to Pat. I don't know why the hell Pat takes it. I'm gonna tell you how the reality would set it for me. If you came back and I'm letting you stay rent-free, bill-free in my house that I pay for, and you're gonna talk to me like I'm your damn minion. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I'm too busy throwing your shit on the street. I'm like, holler. Hope you find somewhere to live, but you can't stay here. I do not understand why Pat is so meek and this man makes him so small when Sylvester's mind is the one that's so small. You can tell he's messed up. He was messed up long before the ISA killed him. I do not get it. I will never get it. We are to a point now, Pat, where you need to like realize that you have balls and use them. Because this man is walking over Pat. He doesn't, if he doesn't agree with Pat says, he gets in his face and you're the sidekick and I'm the hero. And I'm like, and you the homeless motherfucker and I'm the one with the house. Bye. I do not understand. This is my angry grandma rant. Every time I see Sylvester, I just want to put him over my knee and tan his ass. I'm like, you don't, why? Like, why? Why? And then why do they keep letting him make decisions? He's already proven to have anger management. Like, I don't understand. And yes, Pat's like, Courtney doesn't have to do anything. Courtney doesn't have to make up her mind about anything. Okay, but you aren't telling Sylvester to sit down. You aren't telling Sylvester, maybe you need to lay off the staff. You're not doing any of that stuff. And we're seeing next episode that's going to come to a head because like in the trailer, he's talking about going to kill an icicle because he's pissed the icicle killed him and it's back. And Courtney's like, you can't take the staff. And of course, Cosmo goes to him, which I think is not going to be the 100% the case. I think it's going to be a back and forth tug of war thing. But, we have to get that dramatic moment in the trailer. But I think Cosmo knows what's right and what's wrong. And so it's not going to play out the way Sylvester wants it to. But it's the fact that he's kind of like, yeah, I'm taking the staff, which pretty much is telling her your days of Stargirl are over. Which he didn't know the name of the show. That's what happened. But but yeah, so that whole situation to me is stupid. I just don't like Sylvester's character anymore. Like, I don't. I understand that he's traumatized. I understand that he's angry, and he's angry that Courtney is pretty much making friends with the people that killed some of his friends. I get that. But how he's acting with his own team is bullshit. So, yeah, I have a lot. And how he treats Pat is just ridiculous. So, lots of problems with that. Tons of problems. I have lots of issues with that. But I mean, for the most part, though, this season has been pretty good. It really has. Like I said, it's been slow at parts. We got a lot more kind of like, I don't want to say procrastination, but there are like times where Courtney was like with Cameron, and I'm like, I don't need to have this repetitive scene. I know you're young, you're in love, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Find something else, put something else in this plot. Like, we didn't even know what was going on with Cindy until, of course, Jakeem and Mike went and found her, and then she ended up, helping them in the woods. I just feel like could have been a lot more handled with that than what we got. So I feel like it was a missed opportunity. Now, to be fair, I doubt they knew that they were not going to get another season. So I have to play fairness with that. And a lot of episodes have filler scenes or slower episodes or series, sorry. So I do get that. But I just it's such a missed opportunity, to introduce all these characters and do all these things that, instead of doing the same repetitive bullshit. Because I really don't care that Courtney was training Icicle how to use his powers. I didn't care then. I don't care now. I don't care. I really don't. But I am curious to see how this collaboration is going to be, because everyone knows Icicle's full of shit. And so it's probably it's definitely going to separate the Romeo and Juliet that are Cam and Courtney once again, especially since I'm not sure she's 100% on board. But we'll see. Because Courtney doesn't make good choices when it comes to him. And it's what it is. It's young love. Of course you don't. You're just stupid. So it is a thing. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. I don't think I did. I think I'm pretty caught up. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. I don't know. Um, if I did, let me know in the comments. Let me see what you guys have been saying. I'm using my new Mac because I'm in my sound booth, guys. So if you see me kind of looking like squinting, it's because right now everything is so tiny, just tiny. Let's see here. I'm gonna scroll up. I know we were talking about this earlier. Let me start with this first comment. I actually think that metahuman changes were due to the budget. They barely show Jade's powers in all their glory. Of course. Well, Jade doesn't even have her, which is so interesting that people don't know that. I did not know people did not know that she like had pretty much she is poison ivy. She has her mother had the same powers. Her mother was able to control plants, so was she. She had green skin. It's thing. So Jenny's nickname was Jade. She didn't get her ring till later, and that was not from, her dad. She got it from Kyle Rayner. So I don't know why they always say Jenny, oh, she found the ring, because when people watch this, they actually think this is how all this happened in reality. And in this universe, it's true. This is how it happened, but that's not how it happened in the comics. So it's interesting. But yeah, I get on a certain level, I do get not wanting to show powers because it costs too much, but then I have to basically counter that with, then why in the hell are you bringing a Green Lantern into this? If you can't do it right, then don't do it at all. There are so many characters you could have brought in besides Jade, and I understand that she was a big part of Infinity Inc., but we haven't even gotten to Infinity Inc. yet. We're in it kinda, but it hasn't been established as Infinity Inc. She could have come a lot long, like a lot later, when maybe you had more budget, or after you realize the show was being canceled. Hey, you just saved yourself millions of dollars in post. I don't know why you bring this character in and then bring Obsidian in when you already have the Shade and you already know you can't afford the Shade. So like, it doesn't make sense, these decisions that they make. And I understand they're trying to give us what we want as comic fans and, Stargirl lovers, but I mean, I would take dedicated like stories and consistent stories over CGI and special effects any day. So I don't know. I don't know why they did that, because there are a ton of ways. Like, be real. Did you really feel like Artemis, Jade, or Sportsmaster were boring characters and they have zero powers? They were not. So just put it out there. The stuff with Jason David Frank shocked me. Part of me thought it was weird. He announced he was retiring from PR a while ago and he wasn't going to be in the reunion. I didn't know he even did that. I'm bad at following. I've been going through a lot of shit, guys. So like, I have not been following any of this stuff. And honestly, to be completely transparent, I normally don't follow celebrity news because I just don't care. So I didn't know, but it is sad when you know an actor and you've seen him do like all of these interviews and was so passionate about, martial arts and acting and Power Rangers. And then it's like, it goes to show you don't know what is going on in somebody's life. He could have been severely depressed. He could have had a really bad medical diagnosis and it just made him depressed. I mean, we don't know. So it's sad. It is really sad. But I feel like 2022, every time I turn around, someone's being announced as dead. It's crazy. Plus, side note, there's also a shooting. I believe it was yesterday. Was it yesterday or Friday night in Colorado where they shot up a gay club? And so I think there were like 18 people injured, and I want to say 9 people were killed. So it's another hate crime against LGBT. And like, we're getting hate crimes against different groups and different people all the damn time. And it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. But yeah, let me get off my soapbox because it is what it is. Courtney's actor said that season 4 was going to be crazy, and they filmed 2 endings. One is a cliffhanger, and the other concludes the show. Wait, see, so are we getting? Wait, I'm confused. Are we getting like season 4? Because we're in season 3, so I'm confused. Unless I'm crazy and we're in season 4, and in the first time Maria's lost her mind. But I mean, I wish that we got a season 4. So when you're saying they filmed, so they did. So are you saying that season 3 has 2 different endings, and then season 4 would have been nuts? Because I can get behind that. I'm so pissed at CW. I mean, yeah, everybody is. It's not even the CW anymore. They're like Dare to Defy. I'm like, Dare to be bored is what you're really saying. I mean, they had problems, but this is crazy. Hello, Jessica W. How are you? Do you think Warner Brothers is canceling the show because they have more high budget and large scale plans for the Justice Society in their future media projects? I want to believe that. Now remember, new media and everything's going on at HBO Max technically aren't synonymous in a way because I know of 3 people that worked for the company that acquired CW in the past, and they're very conservative, and my concern has always been that they've been canceling a lot of shows with POC main and driven characters and LGBTQ plus characters. They had Todd Rice. Todd Rice is gay in the comics. He's gay in Stargirl, just like his daddy Alan was gay. Um, I like to say he's gay. I don't know if he's established as bi or not, but I'm pretty sure he's just completely gay. Um, and I feel like all the shows that have gay characters are being canceled. Even Nancy Drew, which I thought was very boring, had Bess, who is an LGBTQ plus character, and they're canceled. So I mean, if you look at their track record of shows that are going, there does seem to be a common theme that a majority of these shows have people of color and are queer. Just saying. Um, if they're really doing this because of budget reasons, which I don't think, because I really feel like they're doing more, they want to focus more on a reality show type, platform, which I don't care for. So I will not be watching shit on the CW. Then there's that, and there's nothing I can really say or comment on because it's not my cup of tea and I don't care. But if they are doing it because they were trying to, build up the Justice Society, or at least they didn't want to conflict with what HBO Max's future plans are. That's a whole different conversation. Now, there's a lot of speculation, though, that the CEO over Warner Brothers and the way all of the cancellations were handled with HBO Max are kind of shady because of the money. Like the bonus that he gets every year is like $2 or $3 million. Plus, he has like all of this stock in HBO Max, and he has all of this, like, his salary basically could fund movies. So he doesn't want to lose any of that. So he's basically making sure he gets that bonus by canceling stuff so they have money to give it to him. I really hope that's not the case. But I mean, look at the society we live in. It does not shock me if it is. So who knows? I know if HBO Max, Warner Bros., whatever is bankrupt, then obviously you can't afford to pay your CEO. And he sure as hell can't give him a bonus. I'm just putting it out there, guys. I don't know. It is a thing. The Crocs were a pretty good, cool battle couple. The Crocs were effing awesome. Again, hashtag justice for the Crocs. I know they were bad. I know they did bad things. But I loved that they were trying to reform, and I loved the bond between Barbara and Paula specifically. I absolutely loved it. I love when Barbara first said that they were friends, and Paula didn't know how to respond to that because no one's ever called her a friend before. It's like, oh my God, I'm so in my feelings for killing the Crocs. I really am. Stargirl was canceled because of the CW and then wanting to now make cheap programming. Yeah, they want to make reality. They want to bring their reality show format in. And now media is cheap programming. As this, Yaslik announced that they were going to make content to sell it to another platform, not just HBO. Well, like I said, if somebody else wants to pick up Stargirl, I'm cool with that, but I don't see that happening. I really don't. Plus, we don't know if they have some kind of crazy deal like Netflix. You know how they wouldn't release the Defenders program, any of the Defenders shows, for like, was it 12 years or something like that? And now the MCU is able to bring in Daredevil and everybody else now, but they couldn't before. So I don't know. I don't know. It is a thing. Hello, Bart Allen. How are you? I wish we got more Barbara and Mike scenes. Yes. Like I said, she said it. We knew how Mike felt because he started calling Barbara mom in season 2. Actually, I want to say it was the end of season 1 he called her mom, I'm pretty sure. And Barbara says, that's my son. So I love that. I love that their blended family is completely blended. Like Courtney refers to Mike as my brother. And Mike calls Courtney his sister. So I'm completely okay with that. But I just wish, I'm with you. I really wish that we got to see more of that, and that we got to get this tease of the mother, not the drugged out mother, because she probably, she was going to cause some problems. And that's what's so weird. Like we Courtney is so traumatized because her dad's kind of a deadbeat, and she had like romanticized him in her head all these years. But she's not stopping to think about Mike's mother was actually a drug addict and dumped him somewhere. And Pat didn't even know he had a kid. So I mean, he's also traumatized, and nobody's saying shit because Pat's always like, poor Courtney and her daddy issues. And I'm a little jealous because I'm her stepdad, but I can't be her real dad. And Sylvester, she thought you were her dad, so step up and be that father figure. And I'm like, you need to be a fucking father figure to your damn son. Just saying. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I digress. Sorry, every so often the angry grandma comes out because it's been a minute. So, got to do it. The season started slow, but started getting good. And then, boom, canceled. Yep. I am so in my feelings about the CW as Rick is about everything. Yeah, look, we're all gonna turn into to freaking hourglass, especially depending on how the series finale ends. That's gonna be interesting. I am not looking forward to it. I'm gonna be real with you. I hope by some miracle Jeff announces the show has found a new home right after the season finale. You would think if anybody was able to get it somewhere, it would be Jeff Johns, considering it's about his sister, really. He based Courtney after his sister, so I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Let's see. I'm hoping we can at least get a high quality animated show about the Justice League. If affordability is the issue for WB. Yeah, they can just take all the actors in Stargirl and make it animated, and they can just voice over themselves. They might like that, actually. Jordan needs to go for killing the Crocs. Yep. Screw Icicle. He needs to go level, and I'm getting the feeling Cameron may be the one to do it this time around. I don't know, because I don't know if we're going to get that far. I don't know what the overall plan is, like what the cliffhanger is. If they refilmed the ending so that there is a death and, everyone's like, yeah, now we're going to form Infinity Inc. and then they just run off and blah, blah, blah. That's one thing. But I just feel like there's so many plot points that they could have had, and they're probably not going to be able to do it. There's so many storylines concurrently that are not going to ever get resolved. And it's sad. I mean, knowing our luck, we'll probably see Cindy for like an episode, and then we won't see her anymore. No, we don't have a lot of time, so it is a thing. Hello, Serenity. How are you? I'm not sure Black Adam underperformed, and The Rock and James Gunn aren't acknowledging each other at all. What the hell? I wouldn't be surprised if we never see the JSA in a film again. I don't know. I think we will definitely see the JSA, because I do feel like since James Gunn is agreeing to co-parent the DCEU now, bringing it up to the level it should have been to begin with, we probably are going to get some campy stories with the JSA, especially considering how well he did with, Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that will happen. Now, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I'm going to be real with you. Again, I do not follow celebrity gossip, so I don't care. I don't care. Unless they are cutting Maria a check, I don't give a shit. I just don't care. I don't care what you do in your off time. I don't care what you do in your life. I don't care. I just don't. But it's interesting that he's not acknowledging The Rock. So something must have gone down behind the scenes. But again, not my problem. The scariest villain of the show is the grandma. Thank you. She's nuts. And I felt so sorry for the grandfather, because he didn't want to fight the kids. He didn't want to be in any of that shit. He was the first one, was like, when the teacher came, he's like, he's talking about our grandson. Let's hear him out. She's like, no, we were hunted for years, and now nobody understands. I'm like, what? Bitch, sit down. just sit down. And I'm telling you, this series may end, and nobody will realize that this whole teacher has not gone to work and has been missing, and his whole ass dead. It's like, that really puts like the whole struggle of teachers having notoriety and recognition pretty much on the map, because you literally killed a teacher and nobody noticed and nobody gave a damn in the show. That's sad. That is really sad. So yeah, I think that's funny. Jordan's certainly taken after his mom. Yep, absolutely. He's taken after his mom. But I really enjoy the father. I feel like Cam is kind of like a hybrid between the grandfather and his grandmother and father. So he definitely has a temper. So I don't know. So again, we have 2 episodes, so November 30th and December 7th. So the day before my birthday, which is December 8th, mark calendars, is the last day. That's so sad. The last episode of Stargirl. So thank you, Serenity. I didn't realize there were 13. I thought there were 12 episodes this season. I don't know why I was thinking that. It's interesting. Okay. I agree. I hope someone picks it up. I hope it's somebody that's not Netflix. I just don't want them to pick it up. Something else that I hate about Netflix now, guys, they've updated their format. So if you have like a smart TV or anything where you're streaming it on like a device, they don't show you trailers for things that are being released, and therefore you don't even know they exist. Like I remember watching R.I.P.D. like back in the day when it first came out. And I was happening to scroll through Netflix yesterday and I'm like, holy shit, they have a R.I.P.D. 2 movie that I think is like set in the Old West. I haven't seen it. I didn't watch a trailer, but I just noticed that it was there and it was new. It wasn't on my recommended list. It wasn't in the new category, none of that stuff. So now I keep thinking, how much stuff am I missing? Because they don't know how to advertise. And you ever notice how most of their trailers are on their YouTube channel, but when you go to their actual page, if it's not automatically streaming when you highlight it, there's no trailer. I'm like, what is happening at Netflix? So, yeah, I don't want Netflix to have it. Not at all. It underperformed, but it still was a modest hit. Making an animated series about the Justice Society wouldn't be anywhere as costly as featuring them in live action works. Oh, true. I mean, now, don't get me wrong. Animation is still pricey. But yeah, I think that they would definitely save on the live action, VFX and things like that. So, yeah. All right, so there are crossovers with Titans. Cool. Thank you for clearing that up. And then Trip says no to Gotham Knights, bring back Stargirl. Hashtag amen. I agree with that 100%. Let's see here. Yellow was counseling animated series left and right. Yep, a few months ago, as a cost-cutting measure. And if they are selling the new Batman series to another, so they are selling the Batman series. He wants that bonus, guy. Gotta get that $2 million bonus. Come on now, Papa got bills. My 6 figures and my stock options aren't gonna, keep me afloat in this hard society and capitalist society that it is the United States of America. Yeah, I don't. Yazzle should sell Stargirl to Netflix or Apple. Hell, I would like them to even sell it to somewhere like Paramount Plus. Like, I'd rather get it where I know they're going to play it than Netflix. Because Netflix, every time you turn around, you get into a show on Netflix, what do? They cancel it. They cancel everything on cliffhangers. They're like, no resolution. It's just gone. And I'll be damned if they send it somewhere like Freeform. I'm so sick of Freeform. Been burned too many times by that station, or network. WB is very messy right now with no clear direction. There are even rumors Zasloff is actually priming WB to be bought by Universal. So I'm not sure they care about making good content or any content, if that's true. I mean, to be real. I heard that rumor as well. I'm sure. I heard that everything dealing with the trailer of Gotham Knights is only for the pilot episode, and filming began for the rest of the season in September of this year. So that's funny. Whatever. I'm obligated to watch the first 3 episodes, and that is it. Because I try to be open-minded about it. But that is it. If I don't like it, I mean, I'm gonna struggle through 2 or 3, to be honest with you. Let's see. That's true, but there will be a point when they realize that they have to produce and content to attract people's interest, especially with the of DC. So I don't know. Sometimes I feel like networks feel like if they can prime you to sell to someone else, that they don't have to put any effort into it. Why? This is our track record. This is the stuff we've already done. You want to watch content? Go watch Titans. Go watch Doom Patrol is already on here. We're out. We're not producing anything new. It just makes you wonder what's going to happen to Doom Patrol and I know a lot of people were not happy with Titans, and I'm still behind on Titans. But I mean, it's like, what are going to happen? And they're not going to have any more badass DC shows. So I know I've been hearing lots of crazy stuff. I've been hearing that a lot of people are burned out in MCU. There's a lot of things I've been hearing, and you have to take it with a grain of salt because you until it happens, we're just speculating. So, but it would be a shame to lose all of this very cool content. Um, I guess my other devil's advocate would be I kind of feel like Amazon's been doing a pretty good job with comic book material. So I would actually not mind seeing Stargirl and some of the grittier shows on Amazon Prime because I think they probably would do a really good job. I really do. And we'd actually see it. So just thoughts I have, guys. Just some thoughts. Jeff Jones had a 5-year series Bible, so I'm sure he can make 2 more 8 to 10 episode seasons work. Yeah, I agree with that. Let me skip ahead. Courtney will appear in season 4 of Titans. Her appearance was filmed already. The version of the crossover so will be Courtney's version, the Titans Earth, not our Courtney. Crisis. Artemis can stay in Courtney's room. It would only be for a few months. She got into college. But no, because Yolanda's staying in Courtney's room. I don't think Yolanda and Artemis can bunk together. I think that would be a disaster. I think Artemis is going to stay in Mike's room. And Mike's going to be thrown out, just like Courtney was thrown out of her room. That's what I think is going to happen. Yolanda will eventually go back to her house, and Artemis is going to college in a few months. That's if Artemis doesn't go on a killing spree with Icicle, which could happen. That actually could happen. She's got her parents' temper. She really does. And I think it's extremely funny that they still have not made her an official member of the JSA. All of this time, even all the stuff that her parents did that were good, they have not made Artemis a member. And Artemis actually helped them with that bank robbery. Actually, a few times. Actually, she's helped Beth. She actually showed up to help fight, Icicle's parents. I don't know. Maybe that was the next step. They were going to make, Artemis an official JSA member or Infinity Inc. I don't know what they were going to do. Maybe Grundy will come back and help Rick. You better hurry up. You better hurry up. Considering how slow Stargirl timeline moves, it would have been season 6 until Artemis actually went to college. We've been through 3 seasons, but only a year has passed in all that time. That is so true. And I don't think they're ever getting out of high school. Remember Jakeem's sister was Cindy's lackey? I do remember seeing her earlier on. So yeah. I just don't I have this theory that they're only there to establish that these people have families. And then we don't see them anymore, except for Beth's parents. We don't really see them a lot. So I don't know. Where the hell devil's advocate here. So remember, it was established that Yolanda was allowed to work at the restaurant or the diner because the father lost his job. And so she was basically supporting the family. So if your daughter is basically helping to keep your lights on, why are you throwing her out of the house? And then what the hell is the dad doing? We haven't seen the dad at all. We only see the mother. We don't see the grandmother. We don't see her little brother who does support her. We only see the mother. So her mother is stupid. She's just very dumb. But whatever. Hopefully Pat decides to check him in the next episode. He better. I'm going to do it. I will do it for him. They will say something, and I'm just going to jump through that screen and be like, look, motherfucker, I'm going to need you to understand some stuff. You obviously don't. I mean, technically, I don't have the right to be in this house either, but you know what? I got more right now than you rude-ass piece of shit. That's how I feel. You came from money. Well, you need to go find it because you're not getting it here. Holler. And Barbara, he don't get a Hot Pocket. Just saying. Speaking of, the Dugan's diet can go back to shit now because they don't have the Crocs making them healthy. It's a sad world. Sylvester is too far into his own feelings to notice that Pat is the current de facto leader of the JSA. Yeah. Well, I think Sylvester feels like he came back, so now he's in charge because he's more important than Pat because that's how he thinks. He's an entitled little prick. So It is what it is. Sometimes superheroes are dicks. I mean, most of the JSA were dicks. So I'm just saying. I think Stargirl would have been better as a streaming show. It would benefit from being hour long without commercials. Yep, there are simply way too many great characters that need time. I absolutely agree with that. But didn't it start with, was it DC Universe? I thought it was a DC Universe or whatever their app was called show. That's kind of sad. It's sad that it was started there. The writing, was pretty good, and then it moved to the CW, and that's when things went to shit. I kind of feel like it went to the CW before it premiered on the app, but they'd already filmed it. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Stargirl season 3 has 2 different endings. One is a cliffhanger, and another one is a setup for a crazy season 4. So which one are we getting? Just curious. The CW is just canceling everything like the fuck. Literally, some of the best for DC is gone. I'm telling you, I think that they're gonna do the same thing for Superman and Lois, because with Henry Cavill coming back, I don't foresee them leaving. Even though they did have the Flash when they had Ezra Miller's crazy ass's version of the Flash, I don't think they're going to do the same thing with Superman and Lois. So this may be the last season we get. I don't know why. I'm not trying to jinx anything, but I mean, it already has a delayed start for their new season. I don't know. Plus, we're getting a new Jonathan, or we have a new Jonathan. I think that they're going to cut their losses, because if they can't afford Jade, there is no effing way they can afford anybody in Superman. So, Superman and Lois may be on the chopping block. Just saying. I have conflicted feelings with this season. It's decent, but some of the execution leaves a bit to be desired. Yeah, I mean, we always feel that in Arrowverse shows. Let's be clear. Nobody's happy. I do think there was a noticeable drop in quality when Stargirl was moved to the CW. Of course. It got moved to the CW. They slashed their damn budget. Like, besides, you got Luke Wilson in it. You got all these people that probably demand higher salaries because they are actually established, and and they're not newbies. They are established actors. So it's a thing. What is this one? Sorry. I have a wish list for the end of this show, but with 2 episodes left, the universe is against me. Yeah, I'm sorry, Levi. They are. The universe is absolutely against you with this series. I mean, I already know that the Arrowverse is messing up, because I saw, and again, I try not to keep up with all these rants and shit. I really do. But the fact that they have Javicia Leslie as Red Death, people were like losing their shit online. I don't know how I feel about it, because again, on the one hand, the Arrowverse does its own shit. Did I think that the Batwoman writing was bad? Yeah, I did. It had nothing to do with Javicia Leslie. It had to do with the writers. I mean, the actors, I don't blame. I never blame the actors for how shitty the writing is. I just don't. It's not their fault. They want to get paid. They got those light bills they got to pay off. So, I mean, it is what it is. So bringing her in as, I guess, an alternate universe version of Batwoman who becomes Red Death, or Red Death already, I don't know. It's going to be, yeah, I'm very curious to see how that plays out. But it's just something that Arrowverse does. Like, Crisis on Infinite poop was effing horrible. And they have proven that they can do good crossovers prior to that. I liked Elseworlds. I don't understand why Crisis, the biggest crossover that they did to date, was absolute garbage. I don't understand that. So, I mean, all of this is a moot point. Anything that CW does in terms of Arrowverse, as far as I'm concerned, is just trash, because it's true. So when they get a show like Stargirl, of course they're going to F it up. Naomi suffered that fate because Naomi was not an uninteresting show. The pacing sucked. The writing sucked. And like, they did not stay true to majority of the source material. So they made her biggest effing rival in the comics her freaking mentor in the damn series. It's like, how the hell? Yeah, that whole thing was a train wreck. But that's Arrowverse for you. So that's how I feel. They've been garbage for years. So many people have dropped off of Arrowverse. They just can't do it anymore. I have it's like Kenny said. Kenny stopped watching The Flash when he literally went into the Speed Force to stop, Central City and everything, the timeline from being destroyed, and he never came back out. Like, as far as Kenny is concerned, Barry never left the Speed Force. So it's what it is, I guess. Da, da, da. Just think of the wholesome values Stargirl could learn from the Doom Patrol and the others. Oh, no. That'd be hilarious. I forgot about the night dude from season 1. That's unresolved. Oh, sweetie. They're not gonna bring back any of them. Like, there are so many characters that they could have brought back, and they didn't, and I don't know why. Um, like, there's so many plot points. Like, what is the point? Like, Shining Knight, basically is who you're referring to, but what is the point of actually showing us any of this stuff if you have no plans to carry through? Unless you had, like, an outline that was, like, 5 years, you have 5 seasons ahead, which some people do, I'll give you that. But, like, what's the point of showing us Shining Knight going on this adventure, not coming back, and then you introduce us to his name just ran out of my head, but he's a mechanic dude that's always helping and is always around and flirting with Maria at the cafe or the diner. He's an insignificant character, but I feel like I know more about him than I do about a majority of the people that have been on the show. I know that he was raised by his grandfather. His parents died. His grandfather instilled all the stuff in him and taught him everything he knew about being a mechanic. Like, all the stuff we heard about from a character that I don't remember from the comics that pretty much could have been created for this show. Little side character who doesn't ask questions, who drives through Blue Valley with parts for freaking Stripe in the back of his damn truck, on the truck bed, barely covered, never asked questions about why they're building this big ass robot, doesn't ask anything. And you've established this character. He's in the perfect position to be a supervillain because he knows everybody's shit. And he's just this little insignificant character. So, like I said, it's just, they would rather have that than resolve things that they started. That's pretty much how I've seen the Arrowverse. This is not new. It's really not. The Rock didn't acknowledge James Gunn being the head of DC. What? The T was The Rock wanted that job too, and WB being petty announced James' gig right after Black Adam premiered. They didn't wait a few weeks. Oh, wow. Well, I mean, like I said, I don't give a crap about what happens behind the scenes of these things. Let them fight it out. Well, on the plus side, the CW has no future plans to film another DC Crisis. They don't have anybody left. Like, what are they gonna fill it with? Cast members from, like, All American. What's that new show? Walker something. Independence, I think it's called. Yeah, they're gonna use non-DC characters to film DC Crisis, and that's the real crisis, is that we have no DC heroes left. That's what it is. That's nothing. Ben 10% first 4 seasons taking place over 3 months. Stargirl is going better than that. Not mention comic screwy time passing. Yeah, well, like I said, there are so many times I'm always wondering what year we're in. Like, half the damn time in some of these shows. Is it current? Is it supposed to be in the early 2000s? So yeah, I feel that. I feel like a lot of this shit is weird. It is a thing. Speaking of Amazon, Sony announced that they're going to make more live action Spider-Man spinoff shows with Phil Lord and Christopher Miller overseeing it, starting with Silk Spider Society. Cool. I want Silk. You guys already know I would love to have Silk. But probably not gonna happen. It's probably not gonna happen. If it does, you know what? That's cool. I really would like to have them finish out Tobey Maguire's storyline with a 4, but I know they've already, from what I've seen, they've axed that idea. And even Andrew Garfield, I would love to see him have another movie, a 3rd movie. So another Spider-Man 3, another Spider-Man 4. I think it would make bank. I think they are stupid if for not doing that because they've already introduced the Spider-Verse. So you really can have all these different movies and people would go, and pay for it because they love the Spider-Verse. And then it opens up to stuff that they know. They know Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Yeah, some of it was stupid, but I mean, they know what happened. They know what happened in Tobey Maguire's, they did way too much in the third movie, but we know what happened. So like we get to have a 4 for that and a 3 for the other one. Now, the thing, I don't know if Kirsten Dunst would come back as MJ for that, for Toby's movie or not. I don't know what the status of all that shit is, but, money talks, so she might. um, but yeah, I would love for them to resolve their storylines, but I mean, there's so many missed opportunities. It's so stupid. It really is. Duh, duh, duh. Stargirl ain't up my alley by Poptins. Hello, child. My daughter is in here when she's supposed to be working right now. I'm pretty sure she is. She's on chats today. She works for Nintendo. But I think it's interesting that she is in my live stream saying Stargirl ain't up my alley, meaning I have not raised you right. I love you. Goodbye. Let's see. Shows changing writers may explain why they introduce storylines that never become resolved. I mean, yeah, they have the conveyor belt of writers. I mean, they've done it on every show, not just DC shows or other shows. I don't know why they do that. I have no idea. They're just cheap, I guess. I was looking forward to the 7 Soldiers of Victory. Yes, I was too. I mean, I thought that's what they were going to do in season 1. We were going to see them, but nope. Mm-mm. I am glad that we got to see kind of a pseudo Infinity Inc. because I kept stressing from season 1. That's why I wanted them to go with this, but I mean, which happens to feature Green Arrow. I would love to see. Yeah, that's true. We don't have this version of Arrow. We haven't seen this version of the Flash. Yeah, it's crazy. It's 100% is happening. Silk is greenlit and coming to Prime. Got the showrunner and writers just need the casting. I wonder who they're gonna get because Arden Cho is like in her 30s now, isn't she? But she could look younger. Like I don't look like I'm in my mid 40s, so maybe she would still get it. I know she was cast in the Avatar live action series. I forgot who the hell she was cast as. But I know Arden Cho was cast as her. Now, if you know about Arden Cho, I think she's half Korean. And she was Kira and Teen Wolf. And she's been in a lot of like independent projects. Like she works a lot with, I think they're called Wong Fu Productions. She was in this thing called Agents of Secret Stuff. Ass. If you have not seen it, it is effing hilarious. It's a YouTube thing, and it's like if you search for it, you should be able to find it. It's just stupid. But she's in that. And then she's on this what's it called? She was on this Netflix show called Partner Track, I think, where she plays like she's like the main character. But I know back in the day, everybody wanted Arden Cho. When I did my Silk video, I thought she would be a very good, Cindy Moon. But I don't know if that's possible now because of her age. I don't know if they're going to go from like teenager to adult. I have no idea. It just really depends. I mean, like, it depends on which part if we're gonna see Cindy Moon after she's like saved from the bunker, basically, and is back in the real world years later, or are we gonna see it prior to her being locked up, right after she gets bit by the same spider that bit Peter? I don't know how that's gonna play out. So, but I'm just wondering if they did do that when it fast forward and she was of age, and they're not trying to match the MCU's Prime Earth version of Spider-Man, then Cindy Moon absolutely could be played by Arden Cho. But if not, I don't know who they would get. They have a lot of options, obviously, but I don't know who they would get. But nobody comes off in my mind. I mean, I know Nicole Kang, who played Mary and Batwoman, is in her 20s, and she's Korean. I don't know if they would use her or not. I have no idea. But yeah, things to think about, I guess. Sony has barely been able to handle Venom and Morbius, and they expect us to believe they can do Silk. Yeah, Amy Pascal and the director of Spider-Verse are producing, but still, yeah, I know. Well, no, I guess we'll know when we see it. The thing is that I feel like because of representation, And this goes across the board. Whenever you have a character that you feel represents your culture and all that, even if the movie is shit, you will support it because that's exactly what happened with Batwoman. The people were so happy that they had a black, a female lesbian superhero that they supported whatever garbage came out of that damn plot. So it's a thing. And like I said, on the one hand, I understand it. Everybody wants to see someone who looks like themselves on screen in these major, especially superhero roles. But the other side, on the flip side of that, you can't just expect people to just take bullshit because they look like me. So you know what I mean? It's just it's something. So I think if Silk does well, but the story sucks, it's going to be because people were happy that they finally got a Korean American Spider Woman. That's what's gonna happen. It's sad but true. This child. Hi, I'm on lunch right now. Actually, okay, I got you. Love you long time. Let's see. They also said that they're going to stay true to the comics in terms of Cindy having the connection with Peter Parker. Oh, no, not the pheromones. And her escaping from prison. Well, technically, he busted her out, but I think he was even attracted to her. His sexual pheromones, because they were bitten by the same spider, like led, him to her. And I'm thinking, well, why didn't it lead you to her after she got kidnapped, or put in there, should I say? You know what? Whatever. Whatever. I just watched. Just wanted you to know that you're my personal superhero. Oh, she's trying to get me to make dinner. That's why I can't. I can't look at the other ones. They pale in comparison to you. This child. This child she's getting the mommy brownie points right now. She's getting them points. All right, I will make you whatever you want for dinner. I see where this is going. Silk will air on MGM Plus, the old Epic service. Okay. So they are definitely making it. They need the content on that service. So did they give us a year? I'm getting a lot of like info on stuff that's happening. Like I'm a big anime fan, and I like Symphogear. I don't know if anyone's ever seen Symphogear, but they just announced that there's a brand new project, which potentially is a new anime, and it says 20XX. So it's not really telling us when the hell that is, just like I love Legend of Korra. And they're already talking about that's probably not coming out until 2026. And I'm like, well, damn. It is a long way off. A lot could happen in this world before that movie is released. So I don't know. I'm kind of like, why do I gotta wait so damn long? But I know with Avatar Studios, they have a lot of projects. I know we're getting a new Last Airbender movie, and I'm pretty sure they announced that all of the cast, like Aang and Katara and all of them, are going to be like young adults. So I don't know if this is right after Katara and Aang get married and before they have kids, or what's going to happen. But it might be like the Naruto movie where Naruto and Hinata get together. It may be how they might actually have how Katara and Aang officially started their engagement / marriage to each other. I don't know. It'll be cute though, either way, I'm sure. Arden doesn't look different at all from how she looked in Teen Wolf when she played 16, so she would be perfect. Maybe they could make Silk college age. The show is called Silk Spider Society. I would love to see it. I would. I think she would be a really good choice. I mean, I don't know how I feel about Nicole Kang though. Like I said, she's Korean. She played Mary in Batwoman. I'm not opposed to it. She's a dancer, so she definitely has she definitely would know how to do the choreography, because if you look at Kung Fu with Nikki, her actress was a dancer. She was not a martial artist. So I mean, I feel like Nicole Kang's dancing background may give her an edge, but then Arden Cho actually is a martial artist too, and realize I don't know. It's anybody's game. But yeah, my first choice, if you go and look at my Silk video that I did like a year or two ago, I did have Arden Cho as my choice for this character. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Yeah, partner check. I say get an unknown for Silk. The synopsis for the show says we follow her from the moment she escapes from captivity. Okay, so she is definitely older then. She's definitely college age. Oh, that means we're going to get her boyfriend too. The Ghost. That's going to be so awkward. Also, they get the current showrunner of The Walking Dead to be the showrunner for Silk. Huh. So I have not followed the recent Walking Dead series. So, do people like this showrunner? I have no idea. The CW then defy your your audience's intelligence. They defy a lot of shit, like logic, critical thinking skills, reality. I mean, it's what it is. Some have fan casted a girl I didn't know from a show I don't watch. Oh, from a show you don't watch. Um, like a Star Wars show or something, I forget, but there is Sydney Park, who is Black and Korean, as my pick. Um, I don't know, I still that's the thing, okay, and, we keep going back to this, we keep going back and forth. Again, I'm a mixed person, I don't have anything against mixed people getting roles, but I have to play devil's advocate because I get in my feelings when a mixed person's character is made monoracial. The same as in reverse. If a monoracial character is made mixed, I think it's still, you're doing a disservice to that Korean American character because there are no Korean American characters mainstream technically. Yeah, there's some minor characters, but you don't normally see them. You don't. So like I definitely would like to see somebody who is actually fully Korean and have because both her parents are Korean. Then she is not a mixed character. And I'm only pointing this out because there are two characters in comic history, that annoy the hell out of me. Number one is Shang-Chi. They made him completely Asian later on, but his mother was white as hell, and his father was, we already know, Fu Manchu, and they made him the Mandarin. So, like, that character was Eurasian, and they erased his European side and made him completely Asian. And then, of course, with Miles Morales, he is always said to be the first Black Spider-Man. He is not. He is the first Afro-Latino. And stop erasing the person's other parent in lineage. I don't understand that shit. So as much as I respect you, Serenity, I disagree with that. I feel like this is a fully Korean character in the comics. She needs to be fully Korean. And that's how I feel. Because I don't want to take it from them. It would be the same if somebody was completely Black, the first Black. If Silk was a completely African character and somebody said, I would really like this person to be half African and half Irish, people would be fucking fighting. And we all know this is true. So I'm not going to be that person that says, that says we should make this character mix because I don't think that's cool. I just don't. That's me. I can't help what they do. But that is how I feel because I try and play on the line of being fair. And then monoracial, if there's a monoracial character, be a monoracial character. If you want to race bend that character, that's fine, but make both the parents the same monoracially. Do not take a monoracial character and make that character mixed. Do not take a mixed character and make that character monoracial. It is very simple laws, people. People just don't fucking follow it. I don't know why. It is what it is, though. Let's see. Sorry, I hate when this thing rolls up when I don't know why they do that. Okay, I did see that one. Did see Serenity. What the hell? Why are you going up? Okay, if I skip something, I'm sorry. It's just not letting me go back up. I'm watching the Willow film. Okay, is that a film? I thought that was a series. Okay, I'm confused. I could have swore that was a series. Maybe I'm crazy. I'm watching the Willow film. Realize that representation is important, but great writing helps it go that extra mile to actually not be damaging to the communities. It wishing to represent Batwoman. No, yeah, like I said, again, the problem that I've always had with Batwoman had nothing to do with basically anybody in the cast. It was just the writing. The writing was stupid. It was just stupid, inconsistent, and dumb. I would assume 2024 for Silk since they just announced it this week and they have to cast and film. Well, also it could also be 2025, depending on when they license. The film is. I learned when I was getting my film degree that it's just the process to getting like big budget funding and licenses and tax breaks and all that is just crazy. So unless they pre-plan this shit in advance, it could be 2026. We have no idea. I have my fingers crossed that they won't cast David Carrot in his Silk. I'm done with you. I'm fucking done with you. Nope. Well, they did it already. Halle Berry is mixed and played Storm. Oh, baby, don't get me started on the Halle Berry train. Halle Berry doesn't even call herself mixed. She actually says she believes in the run drop rule. she made life for me very hard. Like, because here's another woman whose mother is white and father is black. Now, the thing about me, which is always funny, I am contemporarily mixed. Mine isn't historical. Not saying my dad doesn't have that on the side. Obviously, him being half black and an American, he does. But my mother was not from this country. She died a British subject. She was never an American citizen. So my parents having me, they did it the old-fashioned way. They banged, and they weren't the same ethnicity. Ain't hard, people. Like, you have no idea. No idea. I'm gonna tell you guys, I tell you guys all the time. I know I'm like a broken ass record when I say this shit. But even recently, I was up for a video game role. I am not making this up. Recently, character was Kenyan. They sent my demo, and when they send your demo, I'm in like lots of groups. I have a talent agency, and then I have a video game list. So when they sent it over, they're like, "My name is Maria Park." So first she was like, "Oh, your last name is Park. We don't cast we can't cast an Asian for this role." I'm like, "I'm not Asian. It's a married name." Nobody even asked me if my name was mine originally. I'm like, "No, this is my married last name." They're like, oh, "Okay." And so then I'm like, my dad is half Nigerian, half indigenous, and my mother was born and raised in Scotland. So they're like, "Okay, cool. You've got Nigerian in you, blah, blah, blah." So I sent it. I made it to like the top 4 or 5 people. That's what they do, the callbacks. How about this director went to my agency page, saw my picture, and then took me out of the running because I wasn't dark enough. So please don't tell me that shit don't happen, because it happens to me all the time. And it also happens in reverse. Like, I'm not dark, but I'm too ethnic looking to be a European character. I get it across the damn board. So when Halle Berry says this shit, it irritates me because that is not my life. And honestly, you're always going to get these people that are like, I don't like that you are a transformer. You're only black, or you're only this, or you're the Asian, or you're only this when it's convenient for you and you're getting work. Because trust me, we have heard that shit in the industry too. And it is irritating. But nobody thinks, oh, well, they don't make roles for mixed people because we don't exist. So, I mean, it's just what the hell it is. My biggest thing, Serenity, that I will point out to you, if you are a Shondaland fan like I am, and you watch Station 19, then please, baby, explain to me why the half Korean, half white male character and the half Korean, half black woman female character both call themselves mixed. But the half Polish, half black character is just black. Please, please explain that shit to me. And then that's all I'm gonna say. Mic drop. Willow is the 80s movie that they are making into a TV series. Okay, that's what I thought. So I thought Willow was coming out as a TV series. I didn't see a trailer or anything, but I knew they were. Did I? I need to go back and think. I think I did see a trailer. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go look. The Willow film for 1988. So I did watch the original Willow, like a long time ago. I think when that came out, I was 12. Yeah. So I did see that a long time ago. But I'm glad they're redoing. I mean, I'm curious to see what, like, because I remember how that movie ended. Yeah, I'm really. It's kind of like The Princess Bride for me. I'm really curious to see what they do to make a TV series, unless they're So if it's like a continuation, I'm curious. If it's like a reboot, that's cool. I'll still watch it though. To add on to what you had said, Marvel Studios was able to cast someone that's Pakistani, aka Iman Vellani, to play Miss Marvel with the help of the creators of the character. Of course. Like, you want to have people that see themselves. You don't want to have, like, the biggest thing a lot of people were pissed off about, and I've never watched this train wreck of a movie trilogy, but I remember when they were started casting people in the Twilight series, initially they were casting, a lot of Hispanic or Latino actors as indigenous people, which is a fucking no-no. You don't do that. So, and people were like, oh, well, they look similar. And I'm like, I'm telling you, society telling you what you can and cannot be pisses me off. I am so over it. I am over it. I have lost friendships over this shit. I do not fucking care. If I tell you what I am, fucking believe me and move the fuck on. That is literally how I roll. It's how I roll. I think Hallie, from her experience, said she was seen as a black person growing up, and she was bullied, so she found it easier to just be black since people didn't expect her as a accept her as a biracial. So her autobiography actually said, because my mother had read it, that her mother told her that. Now Mariah Carey had a different experience. This is how it is in the mixed world. If you are light skinned, then you're obviously entitled and hate everything about yourself from being a minority. And if you are darker skinned, then you're not. And this is not just the black community. This is across the board. If you're darker skinned, then you have to acclimate to that POC side and just completely throw your other self part of yourself away. And when you don't do it, then you're being told, "Hey, you're trash." People do not understand how easy it would be for me to claim any ethnicity people fucking think I am. I would avoid all of this drama. You're like, "Are you Latina? Mhm. You Filipino? Mhm. Whatever you think I am, whatever's gonna get me this job, that's what I am." It would be so easy, but because I claim all of myself, every part, it's problematic. And so it is something I've been struggling with. I talk about it because, when I was growing up, we weren't allowed to talk about this shit. It was taboo. My parents were together since the 70s, in 1970. I was born in 76. We didn't talk about this shit. Like, it wasn't even legal for my parents to be married when they first got together and had me. My parents were not legally married until I was 4 or 5 years old in the States. So that is why I'm so passionate about this shit because people do not understand if you don't live that life. So it is a thing. And like, yeah, people are going if people can pass when they're mixed, of course they're gonna pass. But sometimes if they're lighter skinned or darker skinned, depending on the community, and you accept a role or whatever, and people feel like you shouldn't have that role, it should go to a monoracial, people will they'll let it know. They'll let all that be known. There's so many people, like the girl who played Storm in the recent X-Men movies. And don't ask me her name because I don't watch Bryan Singer and I don't watch any of that shit anymore. But I remember that there was a huge thing because she was mixed, and I think she called herself mixed, and they were like, well, "You're playing Storm," and like they were like going off on Twitter about her. Zendaya called herself mixed or biracial, remember? And they were going off about her, especially when she was gonna play Aaliyah. I remember that. They were going off about it, and I'm like, "But she is." I'm like, "It's not like she's making it up. Her mom's white." I don't it's so simple to me that it's stupid. I'm like, it's just stupid that people get offended, fucking offended when you claim your other parent. It's so stupid. By all cases and points, my daughter should not claim me at all. My daughter's father is Vietnamese and Chinese, and then I'm all this. She should just be like, "I'm Asian." Fuck you, mom. I mean, she doesn't do that. So it is what it is. Let's see here. What is that? Only Shannon series I watch is Bridgerton. You didn't watch How to Get Away with Murder and Scandals? Actually, they were pretty good though. Those are I didn't see the last season of How to Get Away with Murder, but I know from what I've heard, it was good. And also, I love Viola Davis, and I think Viola Davis is a queen. And so anything she's in, I will watch. I want to see Woman King, but I am so terrified to go out because we have so much crime here. So I have not been able to go to the drive-in. That's why I haven't seen Black Adam. I can't see Wakanda Forever because it's playing at the drive-in, and I'm terrified. I am fucking terrified. I'm not going in the theaters. These dumbasses don't put their masks on. But like I am so terrified because like the street the drive-in is on has been hit with shootings, break-ins, 2 robberies, one at a convenience store and one at a Dollar Tree, like right up the road from the drive-in. And they're all between like 7, 10, 11 o'clock at night. We're not getting out of the drive-in until midnight. So, I mean, I'm not trying to drive through that. It is not in the best part of town. So, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So, I have to wait till everything comes out on Disney Plus now, and that sucks so much. I wish they gave us an option to pay for the movie and let us stream it, but they didn't. So it's a thing. I'm annoyed by it, but it is what it is, I guess. I hope they cast a black dark skin Storm. I would love that. I always think that they should actually I guess it's hard because she's already in the Wakanda universe, but Lupita Nyong'o. Although she's actually short, too short though. I think we need somebody who's at least 5'11". Yeah, 5'11", at least 5'10", 5'11". But there are a slew of gorgeous ass Kenyan, Nigerian, whatever, if you can get it from the same region, that would be awesome in the comics. But all these beautiful actresses in Africa you can bring over. There are a lot that are actually in the UK right now that are in some of the soaps, like the hell is it called? Oh, my mother used to watch it all the damn time. Something Street. It'll come to me. But there are a lot like of expats that come over from Africa and do a lot of British. They study in the UK and they do a lot of British TV and a lot of like British soap operas. And there's just a slew of gorgeous fucking actors that they could do. They could recruit to be Storm. And I don't know why that doesn't happen. Or I mean, hell, we got a lot of beautiful actresses here that could do it. It just, I don't know. No, not EastEnders. It's something. Is it Carnegie Street? It's something with street. It's something with street in it. I remember my mother used to watch it all the time. And like we didn't have the channel. My mother's sister would send like VHS tapes of this. I shit you not. And she would watch a VHS tape because we'd have to convert it from PAL to NTSC when we were in the States. So I want to say, I think it's Coronation Street. That sounds right. Coronation Street is what she used to watch. But yeah, I'm aging myself. I'm like, sorry, I had a vision of Maria walking into a casting room and saying, I can be like Korean, Japanese, Thai, Latino, Native American, and the agent being like, yeah, it's not, it's not to tell people that. Well, I mean, I'm telling you, this is another problem I've been having because of my last name. I have gotten so many Korean American freaking auditions, and on my mother's grave, when I tell them I am Korean, the only thing Korean in me is my spouse, take that as you will. People are like, oh, well, that's okay. You look like you could pass. You're ambiguous. And I'm like, no, that's not how that works. So I've had to turn down auditions for especially Eastern, Asian. I refuse to do an Eastern Asian audition. I won't do it. And I will tell you that there are actors out there that will, that are not, Eastern Asian. But this is the climate where you're trying to be authentic and it's just really hard. So people are really in their feelings about it. So it's hard. You think with voiceovers, it's just like, oh, you do your voice, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not just about your voice anymore. It's how you look. People want to know how you look. They put your picture next to your character and you don't match that idea what that character is. People want to fight. People want to cancel you. It is a thing. So it's crazy. And it's not just about how you look anymore. Disability, if you have a disability, like you are somebody who's in a wheelchair, a lot of the roles now that are going up for audition, they want you really to be handicapped. So I mean, authenticity has gotten to this point. So it's a thing. It's good and bad in a way, because some people overuse it and that can cause problems too. So like in a perfect world, I should be able to audition for any Indigenous, any Nigerian, and any European role that I want. And unfortunately, that is not the case. So it's a thing. I mean, currently not having to watch, but do watch. I did watch How to Get Away with Murder, and Woman King is streaming. Is it streaming now? What is it streaming on? I have HBO Max, Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, Peacock, Disney Plus. Did I say Disney Plus already? I think that's all. Oh, and Showtime, which, by the way, L-Word Generation Q is on tonight. Today, it's probably already out. I'm doing my stream for that tomorrow. But yeah, Generation Q is out, so I need to watch it. I haven't watched it yet. But yeah, let me know what that's on, because that was one of the movies I had on my queue I really wanted to see. I am a Viola Davis, stan. I fucking love her. I love her. Love her. She does this, if you go to YouTube and there's like this series where they ask you like a series of questions and they like put all this hot sauce on like these wings and it's like different levels of heat. And so they have to answer these questions while they're eating it. And you need to watch it because the queen cracks me the hell up in this. She cracks me up in that. I want to say it's like an hour long, but I can't remember the name of the show. But it is absolutely hilarious. So I'm a big Viola Davis fan. Stay safe, Maria. People seem to have been going crazy. Yep, all the shootings and also women getting kidnapped and trafficked. Yeah. Memphis has a like we are literally, you can Google it. We are one of the most dangerous cities in the country. And it's true. Like every time I wake up, it's something. Like they had a guy who literally, I shit you not, an employee of a restaurant shot someone because they shortchanged him $5 when they were getting their fast food. So these nuts are crazy. And let's be clear. We had a guy who live streamed himself going around and randomly killing people. And he killed a bunch of people. He was just driving around the city, getting off the highway, shooting people at the light, shooting people at the gas station, just opening fire on people before he was caught. And he was caught about 10 minutes from my house where I live. So yeah, it's not safe. I am so tired of all the random acts of violence. The parking lot that I like outside my apartment complex has been vandalized 17 effing times this year. We have police that'll just randomly show up and we'll have somebody saying, hey, they bust my windows out. They're not even stealing anything. They're busting your car windows out. I don't know if this is a gang initiation or what the hell is going on, but it's happening. It's happened 17 times in my complex. And my complex used to not have crime. So this is how bad it's gotten. It's gotten to it's gotten so bad that like when all my estate stuff is over, all these court cases are over, we're getting the hell out of Tennessee. We're not staying here anymore. So it's just what it is, but it means that I can't go to the drive-in anymore. And that was one thing I like doing. I like keeping up with movies and stuff and sitting at the drive-in, and it's just not safe. So it sucks. It really sucks. Let's see. Well, Disney Plus did do the pay demand option when it was first launched, but you see how that ended, and it affected the box office numbers for Black Widow. Okay, so am I in the wrong that I don't give a shit about it affecting your box numbers when we were in the era of COVID? I mean, why is it so hard? I don't understand. Like, I need to make money. I don't care that you may actually be one of the unlucky ones that die from this fucking disease. Money, money, money. Stop streaming it at home where it's safe. This economy, like I said, we know where we live. We know the priority here. I know Broadchurch. Can't think of anything else. Yeah, Coronation Street. Thank you. Yes, Coronation Street is what my mother used to watch that show religiously. Religiously. It was one of the ones I actually remember growing up, especially I think when I was like 13 or 14, she would have it like, because her sister would send it like multiple episodes because they record it and then they send it over on the VHS tape over. And then we had like a player that would convert the PAL to NTSC that my dad got. I want to say he got it in the military when we were in Chicago, but yeah. So yeah, that was a big part of my growing up was Coronation Street. Like, so yeah. And I think they've evolved a lot since those days because I remember those days. Most of the people were white. Like, most of them were. The only Korean thing in me is my am I lying? Just saying. I love Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. I love Viola Davis as anybody she fucking plays. Like anybody she plays. Fine. Oh, yeah. Thanks for being here for me to block you. Lord have mercy. Why? Should have known spam was gonna find us sometime, guys. I'm sorry about that. Woman King is a Roku and certain free site. It's on Roku. So I don't have Roku. I have I don't even have the Fire Stick. I have a Samsung Smart TV. I need to be with the times, but I'm old and I don't want to. You can also buy Woman King digitally on November 22nd. So is it on Prime? I don't have a problem with that. And I'm old today. Happy birthday, Serenity! Happy 39! Happy birthday! That was a good age. I remember 39. No, I don't. I would tell you, once you get over 30, like, it just doesn't sit with you anymore. It's just like, I'm old, leave me alone. I will be 46 December 8th. And for me, there's no difference right now between 45 and 35. It is the same shit, same stress, same days. It's a thing. But we made every time my birthday comes around, I'm happy because we made it another year, and that is the highlight. So when you start to get spam and bot accounts, that's how you know that you're famous now. Yeah, that are some horny ass people out there. I never tell my full age. I just say I'm 30, 60. I don't mind saying it until I start looking like I'm in my 40s. I proudly say I'm in my 40s, especially since my daughter is 26. So like people are like, "Your sister is so cute." I'm like, "Please, I don't hear that shit." I'm like, nope. And let's see. Yes, happy birthday, Serenity. Yeah, you need to be partying. I love that you're on your birthday. You're over here in my stream. You know, I stream once a millennium. I swear it feels that way. It really feels that way. But I'm trying to get back on track. Like I said, we're gonna have our L Word Generation Q stream for those of you who watch it. It's gonna be tomorrow at 1 p.m. CST. So I am definitely. I had to move this stream because what's happening right now is I'm in a sound booth. If you have not, see, this is a booth. But the problem is I usually leave the air on because it is hot as fuck in here. I also have a fan over here, but I leave the air on outside and then I open this door to get all the carbon monoxide out. And I forgot to do that this morning. So when I went in here, I was like, I can't breathe in this booth. So I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and set it a little further out and give it more time to just air all this shit out. Because essentially I am in it's a 3.5 by 3.5 closet. That's basically what it is. And it's insulated with all of this Oralex and this like 2 layers of foam. And I have a huge monitor here, got my microphone, my audio interface, laptop, light. I am getting fairy lights. And then I have this. Now, you may be asking, well, why the hell are you doing your live streams in this damn booth where it's hot? That's because we're moving and I packed all the YouTube shit up. It's gone. It's all in boxes. So I have no space to do the videos because it's not in there anymore. So this is it. I got to do all my stuff in my booth now, which I work in here. So I spend so much time in this booth dying, hanging out the door like oxygen, that I literally do everything at this point. Every job I do, every audition I do, every class I do, all of them are in here. So why not do my live streams? But yeah. So I think I've exhausted Stargirl. We're done with Stargirl. We're almost in this 2-hour stream, which I'm not feeling guilty about because it's been a minute since we've been in the stream together. I do have a few videos that are coming out, especially from I approach the Yuri channel. The only problem I'm having with that is every time I try to upload a video to that, it keeps saying that I am not verified, which makes no sense because this is the only monetized channel I have. So I don't know what the hell's happening on that channel. So I'm trying to figure that out because I do have 2 manga reviews that I did that I thought were really cute. And I think I did one series. I had 2 couples. They're very fast. They're like 5-minute videos. But yeah, it'll get to a certain point and it's like, you're not verified. And I'm like, but Google verified me originally, and I don't know what other verification you need. So I'm confused as shit. So that's what's holding me up on that channel is that I can't get a video to stay uploaded. So that is a thing. But this channel, I know I owe you guys so many videos. So many. I want to cry, guys. But if you watch my update video, I hope you understand why my life started going weird. Literally since June, but more so recently. And then also I did tell you guys that I won my court case. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch that video. The only update I have is the person that I won my court case against that was ordered to return objects is now on the run and missing. So it's just more drama. I can't make this shit up. I got a Lifetime movie in my brain. I have so much I could write for a Lifetime movie right now. It's ridiculous. So that's a thing. But yeah, me and Naga here, we are out of stuff to talk about. We are out of stuff to talk about. But again, I will be doing a stream tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time for L Word Generation Q. So if you are interested in that, make sure to be on the lookout on the community tab so I can set it up. And then you guys can be aware that it's happening because I know I was a little bit rushed today. Also, I do have another video, another collaboration coming with Kenny. I'm trying to make the Scream Queen thing happen for you guys because when me and Kenny watch shows together or talk about shows, there's something innately wrong with us. You know, our reactions are just not normal. So I think you guys will get a kick out of how we react to TV shows together. I think it'll be funny. I also got to get my boy Eloy back on this channel at some point, and of course Joe from Joe's Geek Show. But it's the timing with him is kind of hard because he's in Misawa, Japan, and like they're a whole day ahead of me. So it's like trying to get us to narrow down a time. Like my 4 p.m. I think is like his 5 a.m. So it's crazy. So just be on the lookout. I do plan on having him on the show, especially now with you know, JDF passing. We have a lot to talk about, but it's just a timing thing. So I'm gonna have to work through that. And I have a Sailor Moon parody coming too. So be on the lookout for that. Sailor Moon parody and Crisis, the last parody for that too is coming. Okay. Stuff is coming, guys. It is. I know it's hard. I know I have to keep moving timelines, but work with me. I'm old and I'm stressed, but it's coming. All right, guys, I'm going to go. Almost at a 2-hour mark. It's time for me to figure out what I'm making this child who was so nice to me for dinner. You guys don't have to stay here, but you can't. Well, you can stay here. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. That's what I meant to say. Happy birthday again, Serenity. Rock that 39. And guys, if it is day for you, have a good day. If it is night for you, have a good night. And I will see you hopefully in tomorrow's stream. Bye, guys.